Hey, can I once again just want to share some few words of encouragement? Hopefully, it helps you to get you on your journey. It'll help you to realize that you're just stuck in traffic. I just want to share something with you guys, man. I just watched this video. Man, it's a little heart wrenching. It was about this guy, Jamaican guy, and he was just sharing how he was able to find strength in one of the most painful memories that he had of his childhood, and that was of his father beating him with an electrical cord and then salt and pepper and bathe him in salt and pepper water or something like that. And he's smiling through the video, but as he starts to talk about it, you could see the change. Like the thought of it took him back to a place, man, that was most painful for him. And I think the pain that he felt wasn't more so of what happened to him solely, but who inflicted the pain. And that was his father. And pain, man, pain and trauma is something, man, that no matter how old you get, it never grows out of you. It sticks with you. And I remember when I was little, I was about 5 years old, and my aunt and my cousins, they had moved to a different area from where we lived at, and I wanted to go see the house. And one of my cousins, he took me there, and it was cool. I hung out, played with my other little cousins and them, and as soon as it started to get dark, I was a mama's boy, so I wanted to go back home. So I was 5, I couldn't walk the distance back to the house so by myself, so I needed some adult or some older person to take me. And I asked everyone, but it was getting dark and no one wanted to walk the distance to take me back home. This is back probably, I want to say late 70s or early 70s. So back then it wasn't too much street lights, so it wasn't the most favorable thing to do at night. So I stayed there and I sat on the step, and every adult that walked past, I was asking, could you take me home? Could you take me home? And everyone was reluctant to want to do that. And there was a feeling of abandonment that came over me as I sat there. I felt like my whole world had collapsed. I felt like everything that I had within me was left. It was one of the most depressive feeling. Well, I didn't know it was depressed, what to compare it to then, but knowing what I know now, I attribute it to some level of depression. Like I felt like that bottom out feeling, man. And as time went by, as I got older, I could be laughing, I could be enjoying a moment, and out of nowhere, this feeling would come. And it's like a paralyzing feeling, like I don't have the energy, the enthusiasm, or whatever it may take, man, but it's just like a bottom out feeling. And I would have to fight to not slump into a state of depression, because that's like the only thing I can compare this feeling that I felt, this feeling of abandonment I felt from when I was younger. And this lasted for years. And I know that I had to find the inner strength. And a lot of us that might have suffered something, man, especially by the hands of someone that's supposed to love us, someone that's supposed to protect us, someone that's supposed to ensure that we're okay, and that person don't perform that duty. And they might be the one that might have inflicted the discomfort. They might be the one that might have stolen your innocence. They might be the one that you would expect to come and save you, but they didn't. You would expect them to protect you, but they never showed up. And a lot of us carry around that baggage, man. But like with this guy in the video and like myself, man, you have to connect with the inner man. The inner man finds a space for you. There's a space in there where this person is like an alternate reality. I don't want to say alternate reality, but alternate ego that is within all of us. And this individual is who you look to for strength. This individual is the one that protects you. This individual is the one that will find the strength when you didn't have any, And I think like when you connect with that person, that self, what he described as the inner man, when you connect with that inner man and that inner man gives you the strength, then you find ways and means to deal with whatever it is that you might have suffered or that you might have been through, and encourage yourself. And I think like this is where you find the inner peace. There's this book NLP that I was introduced by this brother. He told me about it, and actually that book is what actually helped me to manage that depressive feeling that would come over me from time to time. And part of the lesson within it was to make peace with the inner child, because like if you think back to that traumatic situation, you would see it in the image in your mind's eyes. And when you see the image, it would be a still image. Like if you think back to that moment, it'll be a still moment, and it'll be an image of you wherever that particular situation transpired. And when you see yourself there, it'll be more than likely a close-up image, like you'll be like right there, And the lesson was to speak to that inner child, or that inner person that have been hurt or beat down or whatever it is that they might have suffered, the inner person within you that was hurting, and speak to them until you see a change in their demeanor, until you see a change within their expression in their face and their emotion. And when you make peace, and basically what I did, I focus on the image. That was one. Okay, so there's two things you can do. You can focus on the image that you see when you think back into this moment, and then you try to manipulate the image. You turn it sideways, to your left, to your right, then up, down. And once you're able to move that, so it's going to take some level of concentration. And once you're able to move that image around, then what happens, you zoom it in, you pull the image closer to you, and then you zoom it out, right? That still picture of you in that moment. And you zoom it out as far as you can go until you can't see it anymore. And when it disappears, or it becomes as small as a pinhead, that's where you leave the picture. You leave the image. So when you think back of that moment, you think back of that pinhead where you can't even recognize it. And I did that exercise, and the day that I did that exercise from that moment on, I stopped feeling that way. Another exercise you can do is to make peace with the inner child, or the person that have been through the trauma, which is you, but in your mind's eye, you'll see the image of it, and make peace with it. Talk to that person, encourage that person, let that person know how you turned out. Like if it's something that happened to you when you were younger, let them know now that you're grown up, you're doing much better. Situation have turned around, you got married, you have children, you're living happy now. And you speak to that person that is hurting, that person that is in pain within you. You speak to them, and you speak to them, and you do this exercise until that person's demeanor changes. This means now that when you make peace and you connect with that inner turmoil, or that person that have suffered that trauma, what happens, you'll see their face change. You'll see them smiling. They'll be a little more happier in that image. And that's where you know now that you have made peace. So what you have done is to put things in a positive place. Because a lot of times when you find yourself in traumatic situation, you try to find some way to process and to deal with it, and sometimes we don't know how to deal with it. So what we do, we tuck it away into our subconscious and never addressing it, act like it didn't happen. And this might be people that might have been molested or raped or something like that, and you don't want to think about the situation ever again. You actually blank it out of your mind that it even happened, and you never addressed it. But once you're able to make peace with that person, let them know that you have made it through, that you have triumphed over it, it'll definitely help to put you in a better place. And that's where the healing starts. So reconnect with the inner man, and that inner man will strengthen you and give you the strength that you need. Once again, this is Kanai telling you, stop living, stop existing, and start living. Peace.